If everybody could find their way to a seat, we're going to get started here very shortly. So kind of the format that we typically follow is I'll introduce the coaches and the team here and let Coach Agnich and anybody else make the remarks. Then when they're done, everybody will have an opportunity to come down on the floor and congratulate everybody and take pictures with teammates, families, coaches, and all of that. So obviously, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and supporting our wrestling team. This is, in some ways, somewhat routine with these guys, but I don't think that's always fair to label it as routine because what they do year after year is incredibly difficult. You look across the landscape at every sport we have and how difficult it is really just to compete in this conference with the teams that we have, let alone on a state level, let alone on a regional and national level. Everything that they've accomplished is remarkable, and this season in particular has been really special to watch. So I'm going to introduce the head coach of this program, so give a warm round of applause to Coach Jake Agnich.
All right. So obviously you guys know I'm a huge fan of public speaking, so I'll keep this really long, but I'm going to start out with a couple thank yous. So first one, thank you to my wife, Rebecca. She's here with our 3 kids. Yep. I get to be gone a lot during the year, and not just during the season, so she gets to deal with our 3 perfect children. You know, and in the off chance that they're not perfect, she deals with them, not me. So she's awesome. She's a killer. So thank you, Becca. Next one is our coaches. Obviously, we have great coaches. We have a lot of them. I don't know where they're scattered throughout, but you know they do a great job. They provide opportunities for each and every one of our kids in our program. We have anywhere between 80 to 90 depending on the given year. So each one of them gets to compete every weekend and every Thursday. So it's a testament to our coaches. They do an awesome job. Next one, coaches' wives. Yeah, thank the coaches. Yeah. With that, similar to my wife, obviously our coaches' wives sacrifice a ton. So, between the early mornings and the late nights and just everything in between, dealing with me having to give them calls or them calling me and calling kids and everything, they sacrifice a ton too. So thank you, coaches' wives. Next would be parents. So obviously our parents do a ton. And we ask them to do a lot, and if your parents are good, normally it is a direct, correlation between your kid being good. So our parents are awesome. They do a ton for the program all year long, between devoting time of helping kids cut weight, providing food, just providing rides and transportation and things like that. So our parent group is awesome. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you, parents. And then, the community, I think more so this year than ever, I saw our community really come together and support the team. So it was awesome to watch. We had great fan support throughout the year, whether it's duals, state duals, traditional state tournaments. So our community was awesome this year, and I just hope that we'll continue to do that because I think we've got a really good culture here. So thank you to them. All right, last one here. Thank you to Iron Rams. I know we have a few people here that are involved with Iron Rams really, at a really high level. And Iron Rams supports us in lots of different ways, whether it's traveling to compete in the off season, whether it's t-shirts and shirts to give out to our kids and supporters, or just providing opportunities for kids every year. So Iron Rams plays a huge part in our success, and it will continue to do so. So thank you, Iron Rams, and thank you, Buck, and thank you, Jessman, and thank you, Helmy, and all those people. I'm sure Jessman will get more into some of this stuff. So, but just kind of running through our year, we were 23-0, undefeated. State dual champions. We beat North Scott 65-8, and Joaquin Northwest 58-6, Indianola 54-14. So I struggle with math sometimes, but that's a 177-28. Dual difference there, which probably hasn't been done in a really long time, if ever. So that was awesome to watch. In individual matches at the state duels, we went 35-7. So, I mean, if you look at those two numbers, you're just looking at a really, really successful team and a really dominant team. And even with some of those, we were able to, give some of these guys rest with throwing in some just varsity guys and didn't miss a beat. It was super awesome. And then we were state individual champions. So obviously, we've talked about it a lot, but one of our goals this year was to break the point record, and we kind of not only broke it, but we demolished it with 259.5 points, which is the most ever, obviously, and I think that's going to be hopefully a record that won't be broke for a long time. We had 14 state qualifiers, 10 in the top 4, 7 finalists, 4 state champions. We scored 46.5 bonus points. It was an amazing tournament. Obviously, you guys killed it, all year, but it really showed at the state tournament where we kind of just dominated everybody and had a great tournament. What's up, Joel? Yeah. Yeah, give Joel a round of applause. He was awesome all year. He really helped, motivate our guys and get them excited. A couple more things, just talking all of our guys, and I'll kind of introduce each one. But our state qualifiers, we had 14 of them. So we had Logan Trenary, Doc and Billadu, Wyatt Gibson, LaFoy Hall. Our state qualifiers, we had place winners Matt Prine, who got 4th, Abe Bouchon, who got 3rd, Holden Hansen, who got 4th, state finalists Max Riggins, Carter Pearson, and Will Oberbrockling, and then state champions Eddie Woody, Nico DeSalvo, Justice Jesseroga, and Cooper Martinson. Please give them a round of applause. Couple more things. So our senior class this year obviously was extremely special. You saw it with, over the 4 years, I believe we won traditional state 3 times, won duels twice, and made the finals all 4 years in state duels. And I believe we were second in 2023 in traditional. So obviously they left a lasting, legacy and an impact that will help, really mold some of our younger kids and help them become leaders. Because when they were freshmen in 2022, we had great senior leadership, and we had great senior leadership this year. So that will kind of be, I think, their legacy, not only just their, ability to win wrestling matches, but also be awesome leaders. So this senior class was amazing, and I just want to give them a round of applause as well. Okay, and last but not least is our JV guys, and not just varsity, but all on down the line. They did an amazing job this year. I don't think many people see what they have to deal with, and I'm sure Coach Evans can talk about it forever. But most of the days, those Saturdays, they're waking up at 3:30 or 4 a.m. to one, either cut weight, or two, hop on a cold bus and travel a couple hours just to get varsity competition. So not only that, but them being great partners at all times. They were awesome all year. We could always trust them to keep people healthy, give great feels, just do all the right things. Sorry, that's one of my perfect children walking up. But I think my favorite part about this year's, especially just not only all the success that the JV guys had, but was obviously an unfortunate event in Ankeny happened. But that led to an awesome thing happening where our JV guys created an awesome student section, which which created, yes, give them. And that student section, I'm telling you, it not only motivated our varsity guys wrestling, but it broke the other coaches and athletes. And you guys might not know it, but it did, especially at state duels when you guys were playing it right in front of the opposing coaches. It really was awesome to watch, and just the support that they show, I think, just shows the culture that we have here and how important wrestling is to them, and how important the team aspect of wrestling is to them as well. So it was awesome. JV guys, you did a great job this year. And then just looking forward, obviously we lose a great group of seniors, but we return a lot of guys and a lot of successful guys. So we're really looking forward to the future. And I know we've got a bunch of Jeff's varsity guys that are ready to step in and do really great things. So we're super excited about the future. So I'm happy. I'm excited. It was an awesome year. I want to thank everyone for showing up and coming out and just being around all year. And I'm blessed, and it's awesome to be a part of this program. I'm one small part. We obviously have a huge program, but I get to be the spokesperson. So it's been a lot of fun, and I just want to thank you guys. I'll have my storyteller, Coach Jessman, come up here and talk, but go Rams.
Yeah, we received notice that we were speaking about an hour ago, so not much to say compared to usual. But man, what a fun year it's been. We saw a lot of drama this year, but none of it was internal. These guys were rock solid all year. There was no infighting, there was no bickering, there was no BS. These guys were dialed in all year. We talked to them about being dialed in. They kept it between the navigational beacons and with one goal in mind, and that was to smash that record, and they did exactly that. All of the external drama at Ankeny, at Johnston, at Centennial, getting kicked out of tournaments, none of that ever did anything but bolster these guys and make them stronger. What our opponents fail to understand is they're not hurting us. They just keep hurting themselves. We open the gap wider and wider and wider every time. They get rid of the tough competition, and we go find better competition every time. So that's fine. Create all the external drama you want. Kick us out of tournaments. Set CIML rules against us. Do what you got to do. We just get better as a result. So that's part of the motion. The motivation for this team is kind of that contrarian motivation. After the tournament the other night, I gave my sincerest apologies to the young guys on our coaching staff. They've been awesome this year. They've been great workout partners. They're great coaches. They're learning a lot. They're all the way bought in. But my apology to them was, I'm sorry we did this well. You will spend the rest of your entire coaching career chasing this number. So good luck to you guys on that. I talked to a legendary wrestling coach, Keith Massey. He was a multiple-time state championship coach out at Lewis Central. They previously, before Waverly, held the state points record at, it was like 186. They still hold the state record for most state champions in a season. They had 6 in 1 year. Keith was a mentor of mine as he was a young coach, and I was a high school wrestler. And he came up to me and said, "Hey, congrats." And it's the coaches that know how incredibly hard and how much work there was and how much cohesion and how much luck's involved in breaking such a lofty record. Those are the ones that understand that are the most congratulatory for the most part. But Massey walked up to me and he said, "Hey, take it easy on our record tonight," i.e. the state champions record, but congrats on the state dual or the state traditional record. He's like, "But if you break my record, I will be the first person to congratulate you." Unlike other previous record holders who cry on Twitter and have sour grapes and say, "Oh, the rules are different and the tournament's different," and wah, 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 nobody So thanks to Coach Massey. I said, I plan to be the same way, Coach Massey. Someday this record will be broken. And when that happens, I will very happily congratulate Coach Agnich and the young coaches all over again. So, whenever that may be, one of the fun things about this season is this was our goal all along. We were pretty quiet about it, at least externally, but, the press was all over it right away, and they knew what was coming from last year. And, part of what makes Babe Ruth, arguably the greatest of all times, he called his shot. Well, we called our shot. We made it happen. We made it happen by a long shot. And this record's going to stand for quite a while. Another compliment we received is the consistency of our program. We had a friend that's a coach of ours, and a coach that's a friend of ours, especially a friend of Coach Agnich, and he said, you guys are going to be just like a regular state championship team next year. So what a compliment that even graduating as many seniors as we are, the killers we still have in the lineup. And yeah, we're just going to keep this thing rolling and find ways to win again next year and year after that and year after that. So it's gotten to the point to where our bad years, we don't put up 200 points. Those are our bad years, and in the good years, we put up record-breaking numbers. What an achievement by these guys. Just for a couple of more numbers, this isn't the first good year we've had. We've had two in a row. Last year we scored 221.5. We were undefeated last year too. So over the past 2 years, we are completely undefeated in every tournament, every duel, everything for 2 years. We're 40-0, and over the past 2 years, the state tournament, we have averaged 240.5 points. So our average over the last 2 years is 15 points more than what the state record was. That's a hell of an accomplishment by these guys. Of the 6 highest scorers of all time, 3 of them belong to Southeast Polk. You got Southeast Polk number 1. Don Bosco took over number 2 this year by also breaking Waverly's record. They went 225.5. They beat it by half a point. Waverly was number 3 with the old record at 225, and then Southeast Polk comes in at 221.5 last year. Ballard was 220 in 2008, and then 2015 we're 193 points. So it's clear we're taking over the record charts, and we're just going to keep filling it up until nobody else's name is left. From there, I'll also add the key to success to this program is really kind of, it's very complex, but it's also very simple. And the simple thing is we provide unlimited opportunities for our kids to compete, to improve, to go to camps, to go to tournaments, to travel, to get coaching in the summer. And so that makes it a lot easier for us coaches because we don't pick the lineup. These guys pick the lineup by how much work they want to put in, which opportunities they want to take part of, how willing they are to buy in, and whether they want to improve themselves to the point of making our varsity. At this point, if you can make our varsity, you're a state qualifier, probably a state place winner. I mean, you look at Laffoy, and Laffoy was the 5th 190-pounder we've had this year. We had our 5th 190-pounder in, and he qualified for state and won a match. I mean, that's incredible. We're looking so that's kind of the long and short of it for me. I know Coach Agnich talked about Iron Rams and the support that it provides to the wrestling program and these guys, but you guys, we get our hands dirty. If you didn't know, we can pick up the fairgrounds. After every concert at the fair, 11 nights in a row, there was an opportunity provided by our athletic director, Jason Campbell, handed our way, and we looked at it long and hard, and it looked overwhelming, and it was a little bit at first, but we spent 11 nights in a row from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. down at the fair, cleaning up all the imaginables down there to fundraise enough money so that these kids can do these things that we allow them to do, that we can pay for them to do, and that's a major opportunity. Not every kid's families have the socioeconomic background to be able to pay for all these things. We're equal opportunity, and that every single one of them has all the opportunities they want, but you gotta earn it. And so for our guys to have to roll up their sleeves and put 3-4 hours in at night, and not just our guys, but our coaches were there. Some of our coaches were there 11 nights in a row. Some of our families were there. Some of our children were there from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Putting in hours and hours. I mean, the Morrow family put in like 26 shifts down there. My family put in over 20 shifts down there. I got 10-year-olds out there picking up garbage and that kind of stuff. That's what the coaching staff is willing to do for these guys' success. That's what these guys are willing to do for their success. Yeah, we run hard on the track, and we do all the conditioning, we wrestle hard, but when you have to do the stuff that you really, really don't want to do, that isn't glorious, that isn't pretty, that isn't fun, and you're willing to do that stuff, that's what makes you really good. And so we wanted these guys to help have a hand in their own fundraiser, but we also wanted to show just how deep we got to go and what we have to do to be champions. So, we had the cleanup crew shirts this past fall, and it wasn't just clean up the fairgrounds, it was clean up the whole state. And we did. We cleaned up the state. We won by 117 points. It's not quite the record, but it's the record for 3A, that's for sure. So what an incredible year by these guys. Couldn't have been any damn funner than they were. They were always above board, no drama, and incredibly proud of these guys. We'll remember this team for many, many years to come. Guys, I think you'll like this, but I think officially and finally, you're better than the 2015 team. So that might be the best accomplishment you ever get. So congrats, guys. Super proud of you. You know how I feel about you guys. You knew that already? I had to run the numbers on it today. Congrats, guys. Thanks to the community. Congrats to you all. Thank you for your support.
Thanks again, everybody, for coming out at this time. Just want to come down, get some pictures, and congratulate the wrestlers and the coaches. Thanks again, everyone, for your support, and congratulations to the team and the coaches.